So obviously you've moved around a little bit, but is basketball in the end? Are you comfortable here? You adapted quickly? How difficult are all the changes?
Yeah, I think basketball is pretty much basketball wherever you go. The only difference is, you have to learn a new system, a new style of play. That's pretty much the only differences I've seen from being at different programs. I feel like coach and everybody and all the staff around here help you to adapt and understand all like the terminologies and stuff, how the team wants to play. So it's just really adapting to that, and I feel like everybody here, the staff, they help you a lot to do that. So it's not really that difficult.
So how different is this system compared to others that you've played?
I'd say it's a lot more fast-paced. It's a lot more up and down, a lot more scoring and shooting. Yeah, that's probably the biggest difference, I would say, from my previous places I've been at.
Eduardo, Justin Jackson in the Post. You guys obviously, got a chance to work out in the summer and the Italy trip, and then, but so, for the most part, it's just been you guys in the gym practicing. And so when you get out there tomorrow night, is there anything that you'll be interested in seeing? Oh, okay, yeah, maybe this does work, or maybe just didn't work like it did in practice. Anything that you kind of be keeping an eye on tomorrow?
Not like a specific thing. No, not really. I feel like it'll be fun seeing how our sets and stuff work against people that don't really know what we're doing. It's a little easier when you know what we're gonna run. So you're just kind of playing against each other. So it'll be interesting to see that, I guess, against another team and how they kind of react to what we're doing.
What do you think people will see tomorrow? I mean, I know coach isn't just going to open up the whole playbook, but how do you guys?
Just an exciting style of basketball, a really competitive style of basketball, like hard-nosed. Yeah, that's what I think people will see.
Your role? What will your role be for this team?
I feel like my role here, just being one of the older guys, is more of like a leadership role, especially to help like the others, the younger guys especially. My role, like when it comes to basketball, I feel like me being one of the bigger guys here is definitely trying to protect the rim, being a presence on the glass at all times, and just doing all the little stuff I can.
When you throw in all the coaches and assistant coaches, and then all the new players, I mean, you probably had to get to know like 20-some new guys. Are challenging or fun, or what was that process like?
I would say at first it was a little challenging, but I mean that comes with everything you do when you're doing something new with a bunch of people you've never really done anything with. At first it's always a little challenging, but I felt like having that Italy trip really helped us a lot to gel together, play with each other, trying to figure each other out with the other players and the coaches, and I feel like it's been a good experience. Yeah.
In this offense, it's obviously a lot of perimeter plays, a lot of screens, hands, things like that, that might not, on the surface fit your game. So how have you adjusted to that, and how, will you bring your skills, which look like they're a little bit closer to the basket, to this offense?
When it comes to that, I feel like I'm versatile enough to play in different type of offenses. I feel like I can still be a threat. Maybe I'm probably not going to be like as much back to the basket, but I feel like I run the floor really well. So I feel like that's going to be a plus to the way we try to play. I set screens, I roll, so I feel like that helps as well. And I just finish around the rim, which is going to be important for us. So I feel like I'm versatile enough to fit into any kind of style of offense that I need to.
Decided to transfer? Why West Virginia? What drew you here?
I would say the biggest thing that drew me here was just looking back at what Coach DeVries has done just in his past. Like pretty much everywhere he's won. And I feel like in my career, that's one thing I haven't done at a high level. I've never been to the tournament, and I know before I told myself before I'm done with college, I want to win and play in that tournament. So that was definitely one of the main factors of me coming here. and just kind of the support staff they had around as well. I felt like they were gonna be able to push me to be the best kind of player I could be, and I felt like this was definitely somewhere I felt like I could have an impact on the team that helped them win. So yeah.
Looking at your bio, see that you were born in Angola, moved to London. When did you come to the U.S. and how has moving around different places either helped you grow as a person or in basketball?
So yeah, I've moved around a lot in my life. I came over here when I was about 17. I think I was like a sophomore in high school. Being that young, it's difficult pretty much for anybody, especially when you're like halfway across the world and you're not around your family every day. You don't get to go home after school and see your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters. So, you know, you get a little homesick at first. But like anything, you just have to adapt. And I feel like me being able to adapt, it kind of built my character a little bit. I kind of had to grow up a little faster than maybe other people. And I feel like it's helped me a lot in everything I've done. Yeah.
Was it the big motivation other than basketball, being able to get a degree from a U.S. college or university, help you?
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing, you know, just family-wise. I feel like just getting my degree and stuff like that for like my parents and stuff is really important. Even for myself, I feel like it's an important milestone for anybody's life. Yeah.
You still hear a little of the accent. Did you have more when you first got here? You've been here a while. Does your family have a heavy English accent?
So what's funny is when I'm here, everybody's like, "Oh, you have a British accent," but when I go home to London, they'll be like, "Are you American? You have an American?" I'm like, "No, I grew up here." But yeah, it's funny.
Were you always like the tallest kid in your class, or did you kind of
Pretty much, kind of. I've always kind of been not super tall, but I've always been like one of the tallest people in my class, pretty much my whole life. Yeah.
Do you get home back to England much, to London, or is that something you don't get to do?
So previously it had been a little bit difficult. Like when I was in high school, I was able to go home maybe a little bit more. So I would go home for like, once the season was over, I would go home before I would like play AAU and stuff like that, or like after AAU. During the COVID period, that really hurt a lot of time because I wasn't able to go home for a couple years just due to my visa situation and stuff like that. Didn't want to go home and get stuck there, and I couldn't come back and play. So that was difficult, being away from your family for that long. I went home, I want to say the last time I was home was last summer. Yeah, I think that was the last time I was home, but apart from that, I've been pretty much in the U.S., yeah.
Has any family come over with you, or everybody still London and your previous stops?
So my sister was able to come at my last school. She was able to see a couple games, and my brother too. They were able to come over and see a couple games. My parents still haven't been able to come to any of my games yet, but hopefully this year we can change that.
Do they all still live in London?
Yeah, my whole family live in London. Yeah, yes sir.
Does everyone still refer to as crossing the pond? Is that...
Yeah, crossing the pond, yep. Cross the ocean, yep, the Atlantic Ocean.
With all your stops, what have you thought of Morgantown, the state of West Virginia? This is certainly different than Fresno. So.
Yeah. I would say just like the hills and stuff like that is probably the biggest difference. Fresno is a little bit more flat. But I like it, man. I like the nature. I like being able to just go outside. You see like deer running around, the trees, being in nature all the time. Some people don't like rain, but I'm British, so I guess I like rain. But I like it when it rains sometimes. It's mellow. Yeah, I love Morgantown. It's a fun place for me.
How does NIL work for you?
For me,
yeah.
So with that, it's kind of like just finding people and like companies and stuff that kind of want to support me a little bit, and then pretty much just looking and seeing who kind of matches with me and stuff like that. You have like the influencer app and stuff like that. Companies able to reach out if they want to offer you like a contract in return for like a post or anything like that. So if they want to do that, then I'll maybe make a post for them or something like that.
I was curious, you mentioned
Yeah. So when you're international, it's kind of like it's a little bit more difficult. Sometimes you have to be at home, or you have to like just work with companies at home. It's a little bit more complicated when you're working with like U.S. companies and stuff like that. So yeah, but there's people you can talk to for it, and people that can help you, guide you through that situation.
Taking an interest in this, it sounds like you're actually kind of rolling up your sleeves and figuring out how to make it work, where other people might just go too hard.
You mean in regards to NIL?
Yeah, it sounds like you're having I mean, you've been to a couple different schools. So you're having to introduce yourself over and over and over to find these opportunities.
Yeah, nah, definitely. I mean, just being able to have the opportunity to kind of make money from playing sports is like really important to me. So wherever I need to do, whatever research I need to do to make sure I'm in the right position and I'm doing the right things, yeah, I feel like it's important for me.
One more, if you don't mind, like how are you packaging and presenting yourself? Are you doing highlight reels? Do you have like a resume, or just like when you're reaching out, how do you start that, get that conversation going?
I mean, it depends on the type of company you want to work with and who you want to work with. I feel like you kind of have to adjust to them and kind of what their needs are. You can definitely just do your research on the company and see how you might match with that, and then just reach out to them based on that.
Compared to some of your previous stops, how do you anticipate life being in the Big 12?
Well, I was in the Big 10 at Nebraska, so I'm definitely used to playing against and playing with really high-level competition. So I feel like me adapting to that, I don't think it'll be as difficult. I definitely feel like the Big 12 is probably going to be a little bit different. I know it's a lot more fast-paced than maybe my previous spots, but like I said, I feel like I adapt to my situations really well. So I feel like I'll be able to do the same thing here.